3 hams will certainly kill him. 3 hams.
Hello and welcome to the Catboy Rants. This week, of course, we're going part 2 of Midori Days. Now, those of you who didn't follow Midori Days last week, Midori Days is basically about a young man named Seiji who has the demon right hand, and one day wakes up and finds out he's got a young girl named Midori on his hand. Now, Midori is this girl who is crushed on Seiji, and so hard that apparently she has appeared at his right hand. And the whole thing about the hand is that now that he's got her as his demon right, as his hand, he can't really do anything without hurting her. In fact, he actually beats up some guys and really hurts her as doing so. Now, she's also got incredible strength with that hand because, of course, that is his stronger hand. And she's able to pull him around, do a bunch of other stuff with him. It's just really interesting stuff. Now, we brought up the whole, lead up to this. Seiji, like I said, he's living alone. His sister Rin shows up every once in a while, but she's a leader of a biker gang. So, you know how that is. I mean, in most animes, the young man or young woman, depending on who it is living alone. They run the house themselves. Parents are probably out doing whatever they need to do to get the house, all set up, keep the family fed, keep the money rolling in. It's just how it is. In Midori Days, however, like I said, Seiji's living alone until Midori shows up. Now, around the same time, a lot of people start showing up that Seiji either decided not to really associate with, or thought of them as more as just friends. One is, of course, one of his friends from school who ends up starting to really like Seiji, but is afraid to tell him because she doesn't want to ruin their friendship. There's the little girl who lives down the street who likes to hang out with Seiji because she's his cool big brother. There's his friend who's basically the friend that's always getting in trouble. There's the guy who's really into figurines, to the point that it's a trope. It's like some of those guys who just fall in love with their little figurines, little ones, not the full size with anatomically. That's bad. Whatever floats your boat, whatever makes the world go around, just don't hurt people. And it's a lot of different people come out of the woodwork that Seiji realizes he's got a lot of friends, a lot of people who are willing to help him that he didn't have in the past. He just thought he was, this big tough guy. Now, in part 2, we're talking about Midori. Midori just shows up one day. He wakes up, sees her as his right hand. You don't find out if she's got lower parts. Just, you notice she's got boobs. So she she wears a shirt. She tries to cover up. She does a good job cleaning, cooking, trying to do good stuff for Seiji. Prove herself as a good wife. Now, while this is all happening, Midori is actually lying in a coma at her home, and she actually lives in a very big house, almost like a mansion. Her family's very well off. She goes to a different school than Seiji, but she saw him and just absolutely fell in love with him. Now, while she's in this coma, her body's fine. I mean, people are taking care of her, but her family is just absolutely devastated. They want her out of this coma. They want her to get better and wake up, because it's hard on a person to be that close to somebody and then find out you can't do anything to help them. Her mother hires a bunch of people to try to find a way to wake her up. Spiritualists, exorcists, priests, what have you. She finally ends up with, this is a kicker, I never really expected to see this in an anime, a Native American shaman. They don't explain what tribe the gentleman's from, but the shaman basically says that she doesn't want to come back yet. Which is true, she doesn't. She wants to stay as Seiji's right hand. She would be more than happy to stay there, because she is next to her beloved Seiji. At the same time, you never get to see her father, but at the same time, you also get to see one of her friends that goes to school with her. Childhood friend. Honestly, I will be honest, I didn't really pay attention to this guy's name because, well, it's more about Seiji and Midori than anything else. This guy is constantly there, constantly talking to her, telling her that she needs to wake up, helping her in any way he possibly can. just a good friend. They eventually go to see Midori. Midori and Seiji go to see herself. And she realizes that she needs to go back in her body. And she does. One day she wakes up. That same day, Seiji wakes up and notices that Midori's gone. She's no longer his right hand. And at first, he is thrilled, It's like when Lum left Ataro Moroboshi in Yurei Yatsura, Yursei Yatsura, to go back to do some licensing. She watches him, and he's just at first like, yeah, and then he realizes she's gone, and she'll never come back, and he just goes down in the dumps. Seiji does the same thing. First he's like, yeah, I got my hand back, poop, poop, pow, and he's really happy. And then he realizes that, once he sees all of Midori's stuff still at the house, her little diary, her little dress that he had for her, he starts feeling like, oh. He starts wishing she was back. Now, I'm glad they didn't end the series like this, because if they did, I'd have to go ahead and just, shoot this with a shotgun or blow it up or burn it. Because they didn't. Those of you who do not want to know the ending, cut the video now. I'll give you a little to come back. Those of you who want to know the ending, just continue. Okay? Okay. At the ending, Seiji realizes he misses Midori, wants to go see her. He does. Unfortunately, she doesn't remember anything that happened while she was his right hand. So he realizes he has lost her. She's no longer going to be there. So to make himself see if maybe she will remember something, he goes back to the places they had their date. Now, during the series, they had a date. He and Midori had a date together, because that's all she wanted, was just go on a date with him. And they go through all these different places, and the final place was a big fountain. They go to the fountain, and it's during sunset, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful sight. And she says she'll remember that forever. Seiji decides he's going to do that. He goes to every spot, every day, and goes to every spot that they had their date, just to maybe, hopefully, she would remember and come back. He does this every day, to finally one day, Midori realizes, because, she asks her friend what's going on. He says, well, this young man came down, and he wanted to see you, and she goes, really? And she starts remembering little things. The biggest thing is the date. So she runs to every spot that she can remember from the date. I mean, that's the biggest thing in her mind. She doesn't remember all the stuff. She doesn't remember the hot springs, because you always got to have a hot springs episode in any anime. I'm sorry, you have to do that. She goes to all of the places that they went. She doesn't find him. She finally goes to the fountain at sundown. He's not there. And she's just, you'll see the look of desperation, the look of heartbreak on her. And that's when you see him come up the stairs. I'm not answering that. It's probably a friend. Doesn't matter. Oh, hell. Hold on. Holy crap. Okay, that wasn't a friend, that was the wife. Nothing bad. Nothing bad. Just, See, this is the stuff you deal with. Anyways, she sees him. He sees her. And at first you see the look on his face of, will she remember me? And then she rushes to him. And he rushes to her, and they hold each other. And it's just very, 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 very sweet. And I really like I said, this is one of the shows that I watched with my wife. back when we were still dating. And it reminds me a lot, especially that scene reminds me a lot of me and her when we were dating. Mostly because we met each other online. I'm going to go off a little topic right now, just because this is why this is one of my favorites. We met each other online. We talked for a very long time, and then finally one day I decided I was going to go meet her. I kind of found it funny because she told me she lived in Albion, and I live in Washington State, and there's an Albion in Washington. She's not from Albion, Washington. She's from Albion, Nebraska. And I was like, oh crap. But I saved my money, and I made it out there. And I got lost. I will be honest, I got lost. I used my GPS, and it told me to go the wrong way. And finally pulled up to her house. Scared out of my mind, because again, it's over the internet. You don't know if you walk up there, you walk in, and then they put you in a hole. And she told me the same thing. She didn't know what to expect from me. We've seen each other over the Skype and all that, but still, it's that first real meeting. But as soon as I saw her, she just went to me, and I went to her, and we just held each other. And that's basically been our lives since then. I proposed to her at a convention, ComeriCon, and I was helped very much by some friends of mine who run the Creation Station. Well, yeah, run the Creation Station, and it makes me feel good every time I watch it. Now, of course, you got to end with a bang. So when Midori and Seiji get together, the little girl, the one that thinks of him as his brother, she turns to Midori and says, "You guys are perfect together. However, you've got a rival in me, because when I get older, I'm going to marry Big Brother." So you got to end like that, and it's just a very cute, very lovable series. I mean, it's just wonderful, I initially got it because I had heard it was a good series, and it was a very good series. It just made me feel good, and I recommend it to anybody who wants to have a nice feel-good anime. It's up there with Please Teacher and 7 of 7. So, speaking of 7 of 7, we are going to go ahead and do a thing for them, but that's going to be a little later, because we're going to do Haunted Junction next. I don't want this to be the sappy, super romantic month. This is box month. This is a month where you get stuff in box sets for cheap, either in the bargain bin because Bandai Entertainment said you had to get it, or because you were thinking, oh, I need something from Anime Works. I need something. I need in the box set. I need the whole series. And I don't want to pay $50 for it. I want to pay 10 or 20. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to do Haunted Junction. If you guys got any questions, anything, give us a call. Well, not a call. Give us an email. So I'm not going to give you guys my phone number. Give us an email, catboy_at_the_con@yahoo.com. Or just leave a comment below. More than happy to answer anything. As well as, of course, if you have any requests, just let me know. Okay? Till then, you guys all have a good weekend. See you next Friday.
それがすごく恥ずかしかったり、すごく嫌だったり思えて、それは
December 20th. Today I was able to summon the courage to confess to Seiji that I've loved him for such a long time. I'm no longer a timid coward. My love and my life has now just begun.
Time for go to bed.